What's good, YouTube? Hitman X. Make sure I hit that like, hit that sub. Show your boy some love. Up early. Got a few minutes before I go to work. Just wanted to give a breakdown of the final game. Lakers win by 8. Uh, First of all, I want to address, a few things that I'm hearing from a lot of people because I'm seeing a lot of people post videos crying about referees and fouls and shit like that. Listen, let me educate y'all on something, right? Yes, the Lakers shot way more free throws than the Blazers. And yes, some of those calls were questionable, as a lot of calls are, especially in the playoffs, especially when you're dealing with superstar players. But what you have to understand is you can't just look at the free throw disparity and say, oh well, the Blazers got robbed because the Lakers shot this amount of free throws more than the Blazers. Bruh, that's not telling the whole story. What you do, right? And this is why I was trying to educate you on Ticket last night, but you acted like you was. And I know you're not dumb, bro. I know you're not dumb. I know you're smarter to realize what the hell what I was saying when I said the Blazers had 4 more foul calls on them than the Lakers did. But since you want to act like that, I want to show you what I was talking about, right? So when you go over here, you scroll all the way over to the right. Hold on real quick. Yeah, you scroll all the way over to the right, right? And you see PF, that's personal fouls, right? The second category to the last. It says 21 fouls, right? Then you go to the Blazers. See 25 fouls. So they had 4 more foul calls than the Lakers. So this whole, the Lakers was getting all kind of calls and silly calls. Listen, cut it out. All right? Cut that out. Like I said, I don't want to go into further details on this. I really don't want to touch on a foul excuse anymore. And I don't want to hear it because, frankly, this is not something that we've ever tolerated. We always kept the same standard of, you can't use referees as an excuse. Whenever I tried to use it for the OKC series versus the Warriors, people told me, you can't use referees as an excuse and blah, 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 blah. And were quick to bash Russell Westbrook for his play. KD choked and all this shit, right? So, like I said, man, this kind of looks similar to that. The way they were shooting, the shot selections that was taken, and a lot of their decision making down the stretch kind of reminded me of that series, man. They lost this game. The Portland Trailblazers lost this game. Like I said, some of those calls, especially on Anthony Davis, were questionable, which is why Carmelo Anthony and Yusuf Nurkic had five fouls apiece. I mean, but that's to AD's credit. He's great at least selling the call and making it look like a foul. But like I said, some of them were fouls. I mean, were not fouls, I would say. But for the most part, the Lakers did a great job of putting the pressure on the whistle. And that's one thing the Blazers did not do. They settled way too much for jump shots. I spoke on this in my previous video. If you didn't see that, go check it out. Way too many jump shots for a team that wants to, bridge that gap in free throw attempt. You would think they would attack the basket, especially when the Lakers are giving you the lane, especially when the Lakers are not contesting your layups. Whenever the Blazers actually decided to put their head down and go to the basket, they went to the basket unchallenged, uncontested, legitimately. Like, yeah, sure, Anthony Davis was, down there, and, you had a few other players doing what they do, but for the most part, they was getting a lot of wide open, easy layups. Or when they penetrated, this is what they did because the game plan for the Lakers was simple. Okay, if they want to go to the basket, sure, okay, cool, we'll contest it, but we're not going to go all out and foul them like we did game 1 and game 2 because they got a lot of whistles on them, game 1 especially. Nobody was out here crying and blah, blah, blah this, making excuses about the referees calling all kind of fouls, putting key players in foul trouble. Nobody was saying that game 1. But, yeah, the Lakers, like I said, They say, you know what, we'll focus on the three-point line, contesting jump shots, but we're not going to pressure too hard to where we put ourselves in foul trouble. And I feel like that was a brilliant, I ain't going to say brilliant, but that was a good game plan from Frank Vogel. Also, like I said, LeBron James and his assertiveness. And like I said, that's why I have a real issue with the whole referee thing, because we're taking away from LeBron James' performance. LeBron James came out here and hoop. Let's just go ahead and cut to the chase. This is a great performance. He came out here assertive. He came out here determined. And this is what you expect from Hall of Fame, legendary, top 5, top 10, wherever you rank them. Some of y'all got them as y'all GOAT. This is what you expect from players like that. You expect them to come out and dominate basketball games. LeBron James absolutely did that today, or last night. And like I said, it's hard to take away and shit on that type of performance. Because everybody was quick to do it when he had like 10 points last game, and in a blowout, everybody was, oh, he only had 10 points, he's a role player and blah, blah, blah. Listen, man. Like I said, man, legendary players do legendary shit, and LeBron James very well so did that. Absolutely controlled this game. And like I said, some people have a hard time analyzing the game. Basically, what the Blazers was trying to do on defense was shadow LeBron James on his drives. So whenever LeBron James brought the ball up court and he initiated the offense, they tried to send help early and cut off his driving lanes. So it gave a lot of open shots to Anthony Davis in the mid-range at the top of the key. So he got a lot of shots off of that, just off of that alone. And once LeBron James sparked that type of, reaction from the defense, you see Alex Caruso and the rest of the ball handlers getting that same type of look, getting that same type of action going. And it just opened up the floodgates. I feel like the Blazers defensively had a terrible game plan for the Lakers. They did not expect LeBron James to be so assertive going to the basket. And that once again falls on coaching. Look, going into this game, I was like, you know what? If the Blazers lose, they're going to try to blame coaching. We already know how this goes. They're going to try to say fire Terry Stotts. After seeing this game, I'm saying that. I don't hear too many people saying that. I'm saying that. Terry Stotts is a horrible coach. You know what I mean? And I was an advocate of Terry Stotts. I'm like, man, he took this Blazers team, with, lesser talent to the Western Conference Finals. You got to give him his credit. After seeing what I seen, first of all, you call a timeout. Y'all have a 7-point lead in the first quarter. The game is in the balance. Y'all are pretty much in control of the game, but y'all have the Lakers on their heels, right? And they're shooting a lot of silly shots too. They trying to match y'all energy, right? Y'all shooting silly shots, they're shooting silly shots, but that's y'all game, They're trying to play y'all game. You have them on their heels. They're turning the ball over. Once play specifically in the first quarter, right? I think the Lakers turned the ball over or missed a shot or something, and the Blazers got the rebound and was on a fast break. And Terry Stotts called a timeout during that fast break. In the middle of a fast break, he called a timeout, y'all. I hate when coaches try to, take control of the game like that. When they try to make the game about themselves as opposed to letting the players, figure it out themselves on the court. Sometimes these coaches need to learn to humble themselves. And Terry Stotts, in my opinion, cost them that game with that timeout. Because I told myself, like, I can't believe you would do that when y'all have an opportunity to really step on the Lakers. Y'all have the momentum going for y'all right now. This is a game for the taking. And you call a timeout. You basically helped the Lakers out. Because had y'all scored a basket after that turnover, the Lakers were going to call a timeout. Y'all would have scored, and then the Lakers would have called a timeout. Now they're reeling. Y'all have momentum going into that timeout, whereas you take y'all momentum away by calling a timeout. This is a very idiotic game plan from Terry Stotts, man. Like I said, man, that guy, he has to go. I feel bad for Blazers fans who had to go through this type of bonehead coaching, man. So he's running Nurkic and Whiteside at the same time, which is, like I said, for the most part, is working for them. But it's not something I would specifically do. I feel like you got to bring one of them off the bench because y'all look at. I mean, if you just look at their squad, you look at their roster. Who do they have to back up at the center? You know, they have zero backup. You don't want to have to rely on Hezonja to come in and generate any type of offense or defense, anything. You know, they have to really lean on like Hezonja and players like that. Like, come on, man. Like, look how many minutes Carmelo, CJ, and Dame played. I mean, just look at the box score. It'll tell you a majority of the story. You know? They lean heavily on their superstars. Anytime you have players out here shooting silly shots the way the Blazers do, that goes to show you it's bad coaching. The culture in Portland is horrible. Hence why I picked the Lakers to win in 5 games. Because I don't like the Portland Trailblazers shot selection. You know? At least with the Lakers, I know they're going to get open shots. It's going to be good shots. You know? One thing I know that, you know, they don't have too many good shooters, but they're going to get good shots. And anytime you're getting good shots, that's a higher % chance. Even if you have elite shooters, right, who take bad shots. I would rather have a bad shooter take a good open shot than I would have a good shooter take a bad, stupid step back down 3. Like the way CJ and Dame was taking. This silly-ass shots, right? I would rather have that. So that's why I picked the Lakers in 5, because Portland has been the same way all season. They're playing the same way they played all season in the playoffs, which is a damn shame. If they want to win this series, they have to attack the basket more. They have to make the defense work more. They have to go back to the pick and roll and stay consistent with it, because every time they run it, for the most part, it works for them. It works for them. You know, they cannot keep playing this ISO ball. I know, you know, Melo got hot in the 3rd quarter, and Melo performed well, man. I mean, the box score ain't going to do him no justice. He started off 0-7, just went ballistic in the 3rd quarter, man. Salute to Melo, because he wasn't having that shit. He wasn't trying to have that shit. He was not trying to take this L. But, like I said, man, it was just too many silly shots. And I mean, that's another thing, right? I seen Melo take one layup, it got blocked, and then he put it back up. So that's one layup I could remember off the top of my head, right? Other than that, and that was his first point. Now I think he hit a 3 after that. And then after that, it was all middies. All middies. For the most part, all middies. Right? Like, look at CJ and Dame. 22 threes combined between each other. Right? You're not going to shoot free throws like that. You're not going to get to the free throw line for the most part like that. Hey, come on now. CJ, 25 shots, 0 free throws. This dude taking 12, damn near half of his, no, I take that back. Basically half of his shots were threes. That tells you everything you need to know. So everybody crying robbery and, oh, where was the fouls at? Well, where were they at going to the basket? Because I didn't see it happen much. You know? Like I said, man, if Portland want to win this series, they got to change it up, man, and cut this foolishness out, man, and shoot smarter shots. You dig? I know it looks good when it goes in. A lot of those shots are lucky. Let's just be honest. A lot of those shots are lucky that go in. But you ain't winning no championship like that. Period, point blank. But hit me next. That's all I got. Hit the comment section. Let me know how you feel about this one. I'm out of here.